Unfezant absorbs a close combat tie, actually isn't lagging, he's stopped attacking, not allowing the opponent any free farm. The opponent sends out for Alligator, and this is great for us. The opponent's got double Shadow Claw users, so the quick move is going to be triple resisted due to Obstagoon's dark normal typing. The opponent then sends back out A/tie, farms up, throws the Night Slash, show me the boost! The RNG gods provide no such luck. Tie going to be forced to burn the final Protect Shield and then commit to the counter farm down. The opponent still one Protect Shield, too high behind, and we're full sending. Does the opponent respect the damage? Well, you're going to have to stick around to find out. So welcome back to the channel. My good friend Ty, the person I've nicknamed the King of Entertainment, is back at it with his usual shenanigans, running a triple Hyper Beam theme team in the Open Ultra League. Leading the line, we've got the forgotten fake fighter Obstagoon. Once upon a time, this is a very good anti-meta pick. However, Poliwrath got counter, Annihilate was released. This thing is now very much extinct. Today's save switch is going to be the very oppressive Shadow Dragonite. Unfortunately, in the Ultra League, much like the Great League, this thing has very little bulk. Are we ever going to reach the Hyper Beam? I have no idea. Rounding the team off, we've got another glass cannon, Unfezant. Unfezant, probably a Pokemon you're unfamiliar with, myself included, but is rocking Steel Wing, Sky Attack, and that big beam coverage. Last night I did post a poll on my community tab asking what content you'd like to see. This is leading the way with a whopping 48%. My content recently has been struggling. I know the game's in a pretty trash state, but if you are watching it, do me a favour and smash that like button. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we see Obstagoon into Dragonite. The opponent doesn't farm up to the superpower, so it's an easy no shield for Ty. Trust me, we're going to need to save shields for the backline. Ty tanks the Dragon Claw, aggressively pivots into Dragonite, getting the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent answers our Dragonite save switch with Skeledirge, which is by no means a great response. As due to our Dragon typing, we do resist fire. Ty farms up, fires off the Dragon Claw, getting Skeledirge below half health. Ty looking to shield the Disarming Voice. We can then over farm, fire off the Dragon Claw just before the next Disarming Voice, and the opponent now in a tough spot. If they want to get off the next Disarming Voice, they're going to be forced to commit the Protect Shield, and they're just essentially free farm. You see the instant no shield from Ty. Of course, Disarming Voice is going to be massive overkill. You send out Unfezant, or perhaps Unfezant, I have no idea what it's called, I'll be honest. It's essentially just the poor man's Pidgeot, as we do share the same normal flying typing. Speaking of which, is very advantageous against the buff for Alligator, as these Shadow Claws are double resisted. Ty farms up a boatload of energy and makes a very nice catch, catching the Hydro Cannon back onto Obstagoon. Unfezant, now have a boatload of energy. Ty going for the Sky Attack bait. Sky Attack, let's go. Forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and you already know what's up. Ty going to shield up the next Hydro Cannon despite us being very low. The opponent not going to be able to double resisted. Shadow Claw farm down. We reach the Hyper Beam, and that is going to be all she wrote. Get that for Alligator off my screen, and Ty gets the screenshot for the road. In the next battle, we see I was going to say a very dominating lead. However, I'm going to take that back, because the opponent double resists our quick move of counter. We would be triple resisting the Hex that Jellicent normally runs. However, this one is on bubble, so they're hitting for neutral. Ty farms up, fires off the Night Slash, and this savage of an opponent is running fucking Bubble Beam. Why? Surf is objectively better on the Jellyfish in all situations, other than if you're a player that's very horny for debuffs. Speaking of which, this opponent gets the exact misfortune they deserve, as our Obstagoon gets the boost, resetting them debuffs. Well, temporarily anyway, the opponent threw 2 Bubble Beams, we boosted, raising our attack by 2 stages. The opponent then threw yet another Bubble Beam, so we're currently -1, but undeterred, Ty fires off the Night Slash, getting Jellicent incredibly low, and then makes a very nice catch, catching onto Dragonite. The Bubble Beam is going to do nothing, but we're now very annoyingly 1-stage debuff. Ty commits to the Dragon Breath farm down, and the opponent sends out Gardevoir. Oh, I suppose in hindsight, even if he wasn't debuffed, this would be such a dreadful matchup, as Fairy does double resist Dragon. Ty sitting in a pretty poor position, as Unfezant is very glassy. We have got access to Steel Wing, which does hit for super effective, but my god, these charms are tearing us apart. Ty shields up the triple axle, boosting Gardevoir's attack, and we're already left deep in the red. There is no shot we win this, right? Wait, hold that thought. Skeledirge is playable. Ty fires off a Sky Attack, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. We then go for a cheeky wham bam combo play, try and serve the opponent up that 2-piece Big Mac and the fries. Night Slash forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. Ty is doubled up. However, we could have thrown 1 counter despite not being able to survive that Incinerate. However, undeterred, we reach the Sky Attack. Is it enough to knock it out? No! If that opponent survived on quite literally 1 HP, Despite counter being double resisted, it will always do 1 damage, so that perhaps could have been a win. But moving on to the next one. Ty has the chance at redemption as we see another Skeledirge. This time his fast move timing very much on point. You throw optimal timing, so 2 turn into 5 turn. Ideally you want to throw 2 quick moves or 7. Ty the first time through 7 quick moves, then goes for 2. Once again maintaining that optimal fast move timing. We force ourselves shield advantage and we see the pivot into Shadow Dragonite. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking the incoming disarming voice, and hopefully the opponent doesn't send out a fairy. This battle looking a lot better for us as the opponent sends out Greninja. Greninja insanely glassy, not going to appreciate this oppressive Dragon Breath damage. Despite the super spammy frog having a monstrous attack stat, we're easily going to survive 1 Night Slash and the opponent's going to be forced to dump energy immediately as the Dragon Breath is eating him alive. The opponent does dump energy, firing off the Night Slash, and we see no boost. Ty actually sends out Unfezant. It looks like he's going for an aggressive resisted Steel Wing farm down. I'm quite surprised we didn't send out Obstagoon, but Ty is here to land the beams, and any opportunity to farm up energy is always welcome. Ty banks a boatload energy, snipes with Obstagoon back out, comes Skeledirge. The opponent unable to incinerate farm us down before we reach the Night Slash. Night Slash goes unshielded. The opponent's final Pokemon is Venusaur, and this is just going to be game over. Unfezant might be glassy, the Sludge Bomb not the best move, regular Venusaur isn't going to get the job done, but you know what is going to get the job done? A Stab Hyper Beam, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we've got a real blast from the past, Obstagoon into Nidoqueen. What is this, like season 12 or something? Speaking of blast from the past, if anyone's old like me, how much does Obstagoon look like Gene Simmons from Kiss? Although we got distracted, so we tank the Poison Fang, pivot into Dragonite. Dragonite looks to fire off the Dragon Claw, but the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching it onto Empoleon. Oof, what a play. I think this opponent must have uninstalled the game and reinstalled recently, as this definitely looks like a Season 12 team. Trainer, why are you running Waterfall? I think the only logical explanation is they just reinstalled the game recently. They've not looked at anything and they've just gone straight back into battle. They're probably as confused playing the game as I am watching them play the game. Ty heavily overfarmed, fired off the Night Slash just before the Penguin made a charge move. We got the boost and it's time to ride Boostagoon. This thing used to be able to get out of hand and we're going to reminisce in the good old days where Obstagoon pops off. The boosted Night Slash forces the opponent's first Protect Shield, the second one forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and out comes Cresselia. This, of course, one of the more common matchups you see in the Ultra League. No, really, I'm kidding. You've probably never seen it, nor have I, but I imagine Unfezant up a Protect Shield should be good to close. Ty going to fire off the Hyper Beam on the unshielded Cresselia, and look at that damage. The opponent's going to need to reach 2 charge moves, but I think Unfezant has this one in the bag. Ty invests the final protection. The opponent bait with the Grass Knot, but no bait. We'll be saving this opponent's fate. We've got the Sky Attack locked and loaded, and that is going to be all she wrote, with Unfezant sweeping the back line. Heading into the next battle, we see another Obstagoon into Skeledirge. Ty looks to throw at good timing, and what the heck is on my screen? Quackavolt? Like seriously, some kind of dancing peacock. Ty had the Hyper Beam baits with the Night Slash, which the opponent calls like a savage. Ty then pivots out into Unfezant. Oh, I don't know why I keep changing. Is it Unfezant or Unfezant? I think Unfezant's easier to say, so I'm just going to roll with that. Thankfully, I didn't have to ponder this Flappy Bird's name for too long in this battle as it got knocked out by 2 liquidations. Ty then sent out Dragonite, committed to the Dragon Breath farm down, drawing back out Skeledirge. We see the instant shield deployed, blocking the incoming disarming voice. This is a pretty good matchup for us in the 2 shield. Just look at the fast move pressure. It's all with the mighty Dragonite. Ty farms up, fires off the Dragon Claw, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Ty then makes a very risky play, trying to trap the opponent into the CMP type. The opponent smartly took the extra. Ty then goes for the wham bam combo play. Looks to fire off the Night Slash, however it looks like the move didn't actually register. However, the opponent didn't switch out, so Ty throws 1 counter and the Night Slash, ensuring he doesn't take that Incinerate damage. Holy, what a crazy team from the opponent. They send that Incineroar and then they're going to concede the match. In the next battle, we see Gene Simmons into Dragonite. The counters are resisted, however these Night Slashes do add up as Dragonite cannot tank a hit for shit. We fire off the Night Slash. The game shows Ty how to throw bubbles. We use the aggressive pivot into Shadow Dragonite. And I'll be honest, I have no idea why the opponent didn't throw a charge move, but we'll take it. The opponent then sends out Skeledirge. People love to use Skeledirge as a Dragonite counter. Pretty good if shields are down, but not great when shields are up. Ty farms up, throws the Dragon Claw, forcing a Protect Shield. This time, we get the CMP Ty. Oof, that's rough for the opponent. Skeledirge now finds itself deep in the red, and with 0 energy. Ty sitting in a dominating position. We send out Unfezant, looking to close, and the opponent sends out Shadow Poliwrath. Fly is supposed to counter fighters, however, due to our subnormal typing, the opponent's hitting us for neutral, and we're hitting for resisted with the steel wings. To make matters worse, the opponent is lowering our attack with the icy winds. Every counter is rapidly diminishing. Unfezant's HP bar. Ty looks to farm up to the double sky attacks, which we make. This sky attack won't be lethal as we are debuffed, but it gets the opponent into a stage where Obstagoon is going to be able to come in, shield whatever the opponent throws, and Obstagoon, in this very rare case, is going to be a Poliwrath counter confirmed back out. Come Skeledirge, we're able to reach the Night Slash, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, Dream Lead, the opponent going to be instantly pivoting into Komodo, and we have no real response. Komodo does beat Dragonite, as they are the bulkier of the two dragons. Ty shields up the Dragon Claw. He is going to return fire with his own Dragon Claw, but if the opponent so should choose, they can easily shield this up and commit to the Dragon Breath farm down. The opponent says, thank you very much, we'll realign. Ty now sends up Unfezant, looking to use it as a damage sponge, and this thing does not sponge damage very well. Ouch, that close combat did so much. Ty is actually not lagging here, he just wants to give the opponent minimal farm. We now send out Obstagoon. Despite it being Obstagoon versus the world, this is not a bad spot to be in whatsoever. Due to our dark, normal typing, we triple resist Shadow Claw, and that is what both the remaining Pokemon on the opponent's team are using. The opponent fires off the Hydro Cannon, send back out the Sand Slash. We fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash goes unshielded, and we see no boost. Ty going to be forced to burn the final Protect Shield here. We're then going to be able to commit to the full counter farm down, and the win con is going to be landing the beam. Ty full sending it does the opponent. Respect the damage. They do not get that for Alligator out of here, and Ty picks up the dub. In the next battle, we see Obstagoon into Glycephod. Once again, we are triple resisting the ghost type damage. However, the opponent has got access to Exeter, although I do think most trainers will be running Air Relays. The opponent fires off the Liquidation. We see no debuff. Ty farms up, and we're just going to full send it. YOLO in the beam. Does the opponent respect the damage? They do not. They near get one shot. We look to snipe with Dragonite. Unfortunately, the opponent does get off the charge move. That Dragon Breath should be knocking him out. We do successfully snipe, and the opponent sends out Ampharos. Dragonite farms up, going to be able to outpace to the Dragon Claw by a single turn, and we manage to force the first Protect Shield. The opponent looking to overfarm, farm up to the double charge move. Anything from this range would be lethal, and I agree with the no shield, as the opponent could just fire off back to back. Ty takes his 2-to-1 shield advantage and sends out Obstagoon. If they throw 3 more Volt Switches, I'd probably shield fearful of a blast. The opponent doesn't quite farm up to it, so we don't need to fear anything they might throw. They just fire off the Thunder Punch. Ty then able to throw 1 counter and the Night Slash, which should be lethal. I was not expecting that shield. The opponent then looked to snipe with Dragonite. Ty shows cat-like reflexes, sends out Unfezant, and the opponent has no Protect Shields remaining. There's no shot we're going to land 2 beams. We shield up the crunch. Ty just going to full send the beam. You already know it's going to get absolutely wrecked. Hi Gyarados. Bye Gyarados. This opponent's managed to get themselves beamed twice in the same battle. Oh man, we managed 13 minutes without me cracking up. The opponent is at the double charge move at Ty, still has a Protect Shield remaining. We do lose CMP, shield at the Thunder Punch, throw the Night Slash, and Ty picks up one of the most comical battle wins I have ever seen. GG's. In the next battle, yikes. It's going to be a big fat no thank you from Ty and an instant pivot into Dragonite. Ty farms up, throws the Dragon Claw on the CMP Ty. Dragon Claw will be forcing the first Protect Shield of the game, and if Ty wants to keep Dragonite around, which he does, we're certainly going to be matching shields, as Icy Wind will be hitting us for double super effective. The opponent then farms up, banks an Icy Wind for the road, and then send out the Jellyfish. Usually a pretty good matchup for Dragonite, so the opponent evidently doesn't have a great response. However, as they've debuffed us, the opponent's easily going to be able to withstand the combination of the oppressive Dragon Breath and back-to-back Dragon Claws. Let's go Ty. Ty, recognising the opponent must be pretty weak to Dragonite, makes good use of the misaligned switch timer and pivots back out into Obstagoon, essentially just sacrificing it, as we know Poliwrath will be waiting for us. Ty continuing to farm up. We can tank one further serve. If the opponent pivots into Poliwrath, just YOLO the beam, Ty. Please YOLO the beam. No, the opponent go for the wham bam combo play, and unfortunately Obstagoon isn't going to get to beam. The opponent does go for a cheeky undercharge, but unfortunately we haven't got the energy for the beam, and Night Slash isn't going to be lethal. However, Ty can send out Dragonite. Dragonite does commit to the Dragon Breath farm down and leaves with a charge move. My thought process of the opponent being incredibly weak is correct, as the opponent sends out Giratina. We force the final Protect Shield with the Dragon Claw, and it's now all down to Unfezant to clean up. The opponent fires off the Dragon Claw, which we tanked fairly well as Giratina hits like an absolute wet noodle. Just 2 ghost types remaining on the opponent's team, so Tai continuing to no shield, knowing he isn't going to get fast move beat down. Tai finally returns fire with the Sky Attack, getting Giratina down to around a third health. Finally, we're going to see the final Protect Shield deployed, and now we need to be mindful the opponent's timeout will be popping up. The opponent attempts to catch onto Jellicent. Tai holds his energy over farms, fires off the Sky Attack, and it's going to be a race. Our Flappy Bird versus Big Bad Giratina. Tai able to win the CMP tie, and Unfezant pulls off a beautiful dub to end the video. GG's and thanks for playing. Huge shout out to my good friend Tai, the undisputed King of Pokemon Go PvP entertainment. As always, buddy, you do not disappoint. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If, like Tai, you'd like your battles featured on my channel, a link to battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.